Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing fantastic. In this video I want to answer a question that I got, and this is a comment that Michael left on one of my videos. So here is what he says. Hey, it is possible for you to do a video on what you did to help you build conviction or belief in magic actually working for you. Did you ever have doubts at one point early on in your journey and you did something and saw a result that increased your belief? And even knowing that this works for you, what was the turning point or result it took for you to take this journey more serious? If any such event has happened to you, I'm assuming. Before I answer these questions, I would like to insert a disclaimer. Just take from this video whatever resonates with you. I may say things that obviously you may agree or not. We all have different opinions and perspectives at the end of the day. So back to the question. What did you do to help you build conviction or belief in magic actually working for you? To me, the term belief, or that idea of just believing in something blindly, is just straight up stupid. That's how I feel about this idea of believing in something blindly. That's why I never liked to go to churches in the first place. That's why I personally don't like to hear that type of preaching, oh, you have to believe in this or that. At the end of the day, blind belief and belief in general has no basis at all. If you read a book about magic, you practice, let's say, a spell, and you just try to make yourself believe that you'll maybe get the results that the author mentions in the book. That is not knowing. That's just hope. But we as students, obviously, we all start from that particular point in our journey with magic. And for the lack of a better word, in order to make oneself believe in magic, you must experience something out of the ordinary. At least that's my opinion. When you experience something out of the ordinary, then the blind belief turns into knowing. You don't just believe, you know. So the question is, how can we turn this belief into knowing that there is something else out there beyond this ordinary reality? My answer to this is that you must do whatever it takes to break the mind's barriers. Let me give you a few examples how these mind barriers will start to fall by giving you and sharing with you a few of my experiences. So my first, let's say, not my first, but let's say that out of the ordinary experience that shook me to the core was when I was practicing ceremonial magic, following the rituals of the Golden Dawn. So in ceremonial magic, each day you have to do certain breathing techniques and visualizations, and then you have to perform an actual ritual with magical objects and so forth. Anyway, how it's done is not important. What is important is that each day you have to do the same exact ritual in the same manner in order to build a certain energy within. And any person, I believe, that will start to practice anything new in their life at first, in their first 2 days of practice, you will be very excited to perform the rituals, or maybe you do yoga, but then after some times, after a few days or months, it depends on the person, the mind will stop cooperating. You will start to feel that the spark that you felt initially for that practice starts to fade, that you don't feel like doing the practice, that maybe you need a day off. But you see, you break the mind's barriers, the walls of the mind, when you sustain inside yourself a desire with absolute obsession, and you bombard your mind with this desire minute by minute. The mind cannot cope with persistence. It cannot cope. So when I was doing ceremonial magic practices, all I thought about was that I wanted to see beyond this reality. I wanted to convince myself to see for myself what these people who practiced magic were talking about in their books. I was never interested in illumination or anything like that. All I wanted was to see if there is something else out there other than these solid buildings that are around me. So whenever I had these states like I don't feel like doing the rituals, or I don't feel like doing the practice, I keep reminding myself of my goal. So I kept doing the rituals. It did not matter to me if I had an obligation at work or something. I will drop everything off just to do those rituals. So when you keep just one desire in your mind with absolute obsession, it will come to you. It has no choice but to come and to manifest in your reality. So one day, during one of my rituals, I actually didn't even finish it, and I started to see beyond. And I'm not talking here about seeing things in your imagination. I'm talking about real perception. And I saw weird things that if you tell people about them, they will think you are totally crazy. I don't want to enter into details, but I thought to myself, till that moment, I thought that I knew certain things about magic, that I am very, very skilled just because I had a book in my hand. I thought of myself that I was very brave, a very brave girl, and that I can handle anything. But now I had to deal with an unknown territory to me. Now I had to deal with a new monster which is bigger than the walls of your mind, and that is fear. So with the help of ceremonial magic, I was able to manifest for myself this perception, out of ordinary perception, that maybe understand, not believe, but understand and actually experience firsthand that there is actually something more out there. So if anybody comes to me right now and says straight on my face that magic or spirits don't exist, now I just don't feel the need anymore to defend anything or to convince anybody of this. I think it's useless even to have these conversations with normal people or family members, loved ones, whatever. As you die alone, you will go through these experiences on the path of magic alone. Nobody will hold your hand, okay? So you will have to find what you actually want. Why do you practice this magic? So my point is that you must move forward into experiencing something out of the ordinary in order to move past that blind belief. So how do you start, or how to reach that point where you actually experience something more than this world around you that you see every day? The first step that I went through was to exercise your mastery and command over your own mind. That mind chatter has to go. We have to keep quiet for long periods of time. So every practice, any system of yoga, Magick, you name it, if it's a good one, they will tell you that you must reach a thoughtless mind and to maintain one point of concentration. Because really, this is the simplest and the straight way to break that mind's barrier. If you command your mind daily to keep quiet, then when you will walk, for example, on the street with a quiet mind, I don't know how it happens, but if someone passes by you and if this person is, for example, angry, you will feel that it's coming from them. You will start to understand that those feelings like anxiety and stuff of that nature that happen to you when you just walk normally on the street, these feelings are not yours. You feel them coming from the external people that walk by you. But you'll start to understand that these feelings are not yours only when the mind is quiet. Only when you don't talk to yourself in your mind. So you'll start to experience all these, what other people call extraordinary things, gradually. Okay, it will not happen overnight, mostly because we get over the years a little rusty because we don't practice these things. So you will not all of a sudden know the past and the future and whatever. But day by day, if you do just this one thing, trying to maintain that mind quiet, you will start to learn more and to understand how this inner knowing comes. I don't know from where. I think that it comes from your inner self or something. I don't have the full knowledge. But day by day, I've observed that if I try to maintain my mind as quiet as possible, not to distract myself with music or anything like that, things start to happen. So back to my point, you just have to manifest something consciously, okay? And I know that this will sound hard, but if you can give yourself a goal and the goal may sound like I want to experience something out of the ordinary, okay? Try for 7 days to maintain as much as possible a thoughtless mind. Try for 7 days. And whenever a thought comes or a feeling comes, try to sustain in your imagination. Basically, you are replacing the thoughts that come in your mind with the image of a tennis ball, for example. Okay? So try to maintain for 7 days. I will not say for a month, for 10 years. No. But you will see that it will be super hard. Try to maintain for 7 days a thoughtless mind. You will fail most of the time, but keep trying. And whenever you observe a thought coming, or I don't know, you remember something that you did yesterday or a conversation, replace quickly in your mind that thought or that conversation or that feeling with the image of a tennis ball. We must understand that the self-consciousness is the director and your imagination or mind is your creative power. Okay? So you have Shiva and Shakti. Shiva has to stay silent, and Shakti, the imagination, creates. Okay? But that imagination, in order to create whatever you want, has to be in one point focused. Otherwise, you will not succeed. That's the end of it. So try for 7 days, to the best of your abilities, to keep a quiet mind. And whenever a thought or feeling or whatever comes in your mind, imagination, replace it with the image or the visualization of a tennis ball. Then the next task, or the third task, will be to observe how this color, green, or the image of a tennis ball plays in your environment. I'm not saying that you will get a tennis ball all of a sudden, but see in your environment how this image that you sustain in your imagination on purpose for 7 days plays in your environment. It may be people around you will start to have conversations about tennis. You will start to see ads on YouTube about tennis, or you will start to see something on the TV about tennis, or you will start to see, I don't know, clothes on people with tennis motifs. That's all you have to do. And then you'll prove to yourself that this is not a nonsense. And then you'll start to go from blind belief into knowing. Because that's the way you create, by having one desire at a time, sustained in your imagination. It can be anything. It can be lucid dreaming. Okay? You have to choose your obsessions well. You have to be obsessed by one thing at a time till you achieve it. So that's my answer. Okay, I hope that this video was not too long. I hope that, I don't know, maybe I helped you in some way. Thank you so much for watching my video, and see you next time.